Frank, who, by the way, just retired. I've given him a card and told him about our chapter. And I told him, I said, hey, you were gone for a couple of weeks. Where'd you go? He said, oh, the wife and I went to Hawaii. We did the 4-island tour. I said, wow, that's great. How long were you gone? He said, oh, 10 days. I said, great. You know, Maria and I are, we are thinking of doing something like that, whether it be the Alaskan cruise or the Hawaiian 4-island cruise. What did it cost you? He said, $8,000.
Or one
I said,
or two?
whoa, for two.
That's okay.
Him and his wife, to include airfare. And I thought, boy, that's a lot of money. That may break my budget. But then, the very third page of our magazine that talks about the 4-island tour. And it was a deja vu. And it's for not 10 days, but it's for 13 days. It does not include airfare for $15.49 per person.
Well, that's cheap.
That is cheap. It does not include airfare, so you'll have to factor that in. About, what do you think, Will? About another, per person, another $600 round trip?
Airfare has really gone up lately.
Has it?
Probably.
$1,500?
For two people?
So
Round trip.
I threw in $700 per person. Anyway, I came up with $4,500 if you add on the airfare. But yet, compare that to the $8,000. And I thought, and also, this is for NARFE members. They have 2 departures per year. And so you'll be with other NARFE members, some younger and some your age and some older, which is really cool because you'll have a lot of common interests and what have you, and a lot of good conversation, socializing. So, this is something really interesting. And they also have the Alaskan cruise, which I've checked into at AAA. And let me tell you, it's expensive. Here, it's $18.99 per person.
How many days?
This one here is 13 days. Yeah, they're both 13 days. And and this one here is really good because the cruise is only for 7 days. So what happens is you fly to San Francisco, or you drive, what have you, hopefully fly, and then you spend some days there, you go on tours, and then from San Francisco, you fly to Seattle. No, excuse me, you take a train to Seattle, and then you visit Seattle and some hot spots there. And then you board your cruise liner in Seattle and make your way over to Alaska. So that's 6 days of sightseeing. You visit some wineries in Northern California as well. So it's not a bad deal, so keep that in mind, friends.
Let's all sign up for that.
Hey, that's an idea.
Some chapters have gone as a group.
Have they? Yeah. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you. There's some really good opportunities
Is
there.
that the YMT tours?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
YMT vacations.
Yes.
Best of Ireland.
YMT, what does that stand for?
12 days for $12.99.
Okay, YMT.
Here's 12 days for $18.99.
You can go there and you can get in with the fighting.
Okay.
Take your own rifle.
The other important thing is the CPI, which is going to take money away from us, and apparently that's still uncertain. Well, you checked this.
I couldn't find anything about it. It hasn't been talked about lately.
Page 9.
Yeah, it's quite a ordeal. If this thing were to pass, in the article it talks about if you're planning to live for another 25 years under the CPI chain index, you will lose, on the average, for that average retirement income annuity, you will lose $48,000. That's a lot of money. So hopefully this thing is not going to pass, and it's not only, in my case, I'll get hit 3 times. It'll be a triple whammy for me. It'll be my federal annuity, it'll be my Social Security, and my military disability. So I'll get hit 3 times. So it's quite an ordeal. So hopefully it's not going to pass. If it does, we'll just cry together. And moving on here, there's a scam, ladies and gentlemen, there's a scam going on right now. There are several companies out there that will give you an advance, not a pay advance on your automobile or anything like that, but on your federal retirement. And it's crazy. It's starting to become very serious. There are companies that will simply say, look, Marco, what do you bring in a month? Well, I'll bring in 5,000. Okay. Then that means you'll be probably earning around 54, 55,000 a year. Yeah. Well, we'll loan you that. We'll give you that money, and you can pay us back in 3 years, and we'll charge you a decent interest rate, and you'll have the money now. But of course, you have to assign the rights over to your retirement payments over to a third party, which in most cases is a bank. So you're going to lose your retirement for that 1 year. But here's the catch: they're charging interest rate. The interest rate they're charging is 25 to 28%. More than that's an usury interest rate violation. And if you were to go out and get a standard loan, it should be about 11 or 12% at the most, a personal loan. So it's quite a scam, and a lot of federal retirees have been sucked into it. So just be aware of this. Don't assign your retirement to anyone.
I was surprised that it was even legal to do that, but
Well, apparently,
a lot of federal benefits can't be assigned. The VA benefits can't be assigned.
apparently it doesn't say it can't be done, but what this new law they're trying to pass will prevent them from charging that 28%. And if they do, you can take it to court. And this one here it just caught my interest, and I think our service officer will probably provide any additional information. But if for some reason you remarry as a federal retiree and you want to put your new wife onto your federal plan, all that's required is for you to provide that Blue Shield, Kaiser, whomever, a copy of the marriage certificate, and that's adequate. You don't have to have a certain form 28, standard form 2809, because NARFE can care less, OPM can care less. It's your provider that needs to be alerted. And I didn't quite realize that. Is that pretty much?
And actually, you have quite a long time to do it. I was surprised when I read that. Because when we were working, you only had 60 days to do it. But as a retiree, I can't think right offhand what it is, but it's quite a long time.
Thank you, very good. They also had about a 3-4 page article on state and local pensions. And I was wondering, why would they have that in our magazine, being that we're federal? But apparently these state and local pensions are going through quite a lot of drama right now. And you've heard about Detroit, how they're wanting to cut back the benefits. One would think, well, gee, I'm collecting, so I'll continue until I die. But apparently they're starting to reduce a lot of those pensions. By how much, I don't know.
Detroit wanted to, since they're filing bankruptcy, they wanted to stop their pension.
Whoa.
And
I
the
didn't hear
people
about
that
that.
put the money into it. That's
So-
the contention right now.
Is there anyone here that retired under FERS? So we're pretty much all.
Kathy's under
Yes. They talk about the two different types of retirement pensions. And one is defined benefit pension, and the other is defined contribution benefit. And yours is contribution because you contribute to your Social Security and to your 401k, and you're fortunate to have some matching on behalf of the federal government. Most of us here are under defined, which basically we do have somewhat of a contribution, but mainly it's a pension that we'll end up with that we will continue to collect in the form of an annuity for the rest of our life. It does not run out like your 401k. Your Social Security will continue also. So we're very fortunate.
Yes, we are.
I mean, it's unheard of. They did away with these back, what, 84 first came into play when 84, 86.
86 for first.
Yes,